Hello students, I am your teacher for today's lecture and today we are going to continue with quadratic equations. Now in the previous lectures we have done standard quadratic equation, we did nature of roots, we talked about how to form a quadratic equation, alright. Then we had done concept of common roots, condition for one common root, two common roots. Now today in this lecture we are going to do first of all some very important direct results on real roots of quadratic equation. Now it's difficult to derive these results when you are doing an objective type question because it consumes a lot of time. But if you know the direct result, we will do some questions, then you can apply those results directly and it will save us a lot of time in doing objective type questions. You know, it's very important that we do direct results so that we get good marks, good rank and save time. Is it all right? And you know, when you use direct results, there are lesser chances of making mistakes also in objective type questions. All right. So today's first topic would be some direct results on real roots of quadratic equations. So let us start beta. So we are going to start with this direct results on real roots of quadratic equation ax square plus bx and plus c equal to 0. Is it okay? Now let me take the first result. The first result would be that if the roots of the equation are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, then what will be the direct result? So let's write, if roots are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, then what is going to happen is we will have this condition b equal to 0. B means coefficient of x. So we can say that is coefficient of x will be equal to 0. Is it all right? Now, what do we mean when we say that roots are equal in magnitude and opposite in sign? Look here, it means if one root is alpha, then the other will be minus alpha. So that is the meaning when we say roots are equal in magnitude and opposite in sign. Okay. Now, why is b equal to 0? It's very simple. If you take sum of roots, let's see, sum of roots will be equal to alpha plus minus alpha and you can see it is equal to 0. Remember we had done the formula for sum of roots. What was the formula? Minus b upon a. So that means I have minus b upon a is equal to 0. And if you cross multiply, you know that whenever we write quadratic equation, we have a non-zero. Is it all right? A is always non-zero. So here minus b upon a 0 means b will be equal to 0. So that's the simple reason that whenever roots are equal in magnitude, and opposite in sign, okay, then we will have b equal to 0. That means coefficient of x is going to be equal to 0. So that's the first direct result. Let us take the second one now. Second one would be that if roots of equation, again that same standard quadratic equation, if roots of equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 are reciprocal of each other, if the roots are reciprocal of each other, then what is the result? We have a is equal to c. A equal to c means, now what is a? Coefficient of x square, and what is c? The constant term. So we can say that is coefficient of x square will be equal to constant term. Alright. So that's the result that we are going to have, that coefficient of x square will be equal to constant term. Let's see how. Now look here, what do we mean when we say roots are reciprocal of each other? It means that if one root is alpha, other will be its reciprocal 1 by alpha. Got it? So if that is the case, then observe what will be the product of roots. Alright, let us see the product of roots beta. So we have product of roots will be equal to alpha into 1 by alpha, which is 1, alpha will get cancelled. Now remember the formula for product of roots, it was C upon A. So I have C upon A equal to 1. If I cross multiply, I get C equal to A or A equal to C. So what's the second result? That if roots are reciprocal of each other, then I have A equal to C. That is, coefficient of x square will be equal to the constant term, right? So that's the second result. Let's move on to the third one. So third result would be that if roots of equation, again same standard quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 are in ratio p is to q, then what is going to happen? Then I have this result that p plus q whole square divided by pq will be equal to b square upon ac. That's the result. Is it all right? Which we will be using directly, and it is very, very helpful. So if the roots of the equation are in the ratio p is to q, then we have this relation that p plus q whole square upon pq is b square upon ac. I'll give you the hint how you can derive it. So if you want, you can derive it. So basically we'll be concentrating on writing the direct results in this lecture and then solving questions based on that. Now what do we mean when we say that roots are in the ratio p is to q? What it means is that if one root is p alpha, other root is going to be q alpha. Is it all right? So that is the meaning. How do we derive this condition? You can use sum and product of roots and eliminate alpha, right? We can take sum of roots as minus b upon a, product of roots c upon a, and between the two equations, if you eliminate alpha, we are going to get this condition, right? Let's now take the fourth result. You can see somehow the fourth result is related to the previous one, that is the third one. Let's see how. Let me write the result first. The result is that if one root of equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is n times the other, all right? Then what is the condition? Let's see, which you have to memorize. The condition is then n plus 1 whole square divided by n will be equal to b square upon ac. So that's the result that we have if one root is n times the other. Now why I am saying that this result is kind of similar to the previous one? Let's see. When we say that one root is n times the other, what does it mean? It means that in this case, if one root is alpha, other will be n times alpha. Now you can see in a way these roots are in ratio 1 is to n. Can we say that? That roots are in the ratio 1 is to n. So what is the result that we have done? That if roots are in the ratio, look here, we have done that if roots are in the ratio p is to q, as you can see over here, then I have p plus q whole square upon pq is b square upon ac. Now here instead of p I have, now roots are in the ratio 1 is to n, so instead of p I have 1 and instead of q I have n. So let me write, the condition was p plus q whole square if the roots are in the ratio p is to q, right? This was the condition. P plus q whole square upon pq was equal to b square upon ac. So let me replace p by 1 and q by n. So I will get 1 plus n whole square divided by 1 into n will be equal to b square upon ac. Alright, so it's the same result that we have written over here. So it's kind of an extension of the previous result, right? Now let me write the fifth one. So fifth direct result we are going to write now. Now fifth result would be that if one root of equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is nth power of the other. In the previous case it was n times, now it is the nth power, is nth power of the other, then Let's see what is the result. Then I have this result an into c whole power 1 upon n plus 1, right? The power here inside the bracket is only on a raised power n into c whole power 1 upon n plus 1 plus a into c power n. Now in this case power is only on c, not on a, and whole power 1 upon n plus 1 plus b will be equal to 0. So this is the direct result that we have if one root of the equation is nth power of the other. So what does it mean when we say that one root is nth power of the other? What does it mean? It means that if you have one root as alpha, other is going to be alpha raised by n. Is it okay? So that is the meaning. Again, how do we derive this condition? In the same manner that you take sum of roots, alpha plus alpha n as minus b upon a, product of roots alpha into alpha n as c upon a, you will get two equations, eliminate alpha. So on elimination we are going to get this result. So this is the condition for two roots to be such that one is nth power of the other. So this result again we can use directly in the questions. All right. Now let me take the next one. Okay, sixth result. Now the sixth result that I'm going to take is going to be a specific case of the fifth one. Like we are saying one root is nth power of the other. Now n can be anything, like n can be 2, 3, 4 and so on. So I'm going to take a specific case of the fifth one, that one root is square of the other. Now why are we taking only for square? Because this is generally asked. Okay, this is most frequently asked. So that is why we will memorize it separately. Let me write that. So sixth would be that if one root of equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is square of the other. Okay, so if one root is square of the other, then let us see what is the condition. I have the condition as a square c plus a into c square plus b cube will be equal to 3abc. So this is the condition that I have. Is it okay? Now, what does it mean? It means that when we say one root is square of the other, look here, if one root is square, as I said, this is the condition that a square c into ac square plus b cube is 3abc. It means that if one root is alpha, other will be alpha square. Now look here, the previous condition. We said that if one root is alpha, other is alpha n, then this is the condition. So in this case, basically what is n? 2. So if I put 2 in this, if I put n equal to 2 over here, then what will I get? I will get a square c power 1 upon n means 1 by 3, right? Plus ac square, again power 1 upon n was there, as you can see. So it would be 1 by 3 and plus b equal to 0. Is it all right? So what we can do, we can take b on the other side and do cubing both sides, because we have to remove power 1 by 3. So I can take b on the other side, and if I do cubing, I will get this result. Okay, this one, that if one root is square of the other, then a square c plus ac square plus b cube is equal to 3abc. Is it okay? So that's my sixth result. Now let us move on to the next one. Look at the seventh result now. Is it okay? Seventh result would be that if a plus b plus c is equal to 0, in quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then what do I have? Then one root is 1 and other is c upon a. So I can directly tell the roots. Now look at this carefully. What we are saying, look at your screen, that if I have this condition a plus b plus c is 0. A plus b plus c means what? A is coefficient of x square, b is coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. So when I say a plus b plus c, it means that sum of coefficients is 0. Is it all right? Sum of coefficients is 0. Then we are saying one root is alpha. So if we denote the roots by alpha and beta, so in that case alpha will be 1 and the other root beta will be c upon a. Now what's the reason for that? Look here, what was the meaning of the root? Root means a value of x which when we put in the equation is satisfied. That is left hand side is equal to right hand side. So look here now carefully. If I put x equal to 1 in this, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. We are going to check whether 1 is a root or not. What do I get? Look here, in place of x we are going to put 1. So I am getting here a into 1 square plus b into 1 and plus c equal to 0. So that means what are we getting? That x equal to 1 will be a root if a plus b plus c is 0. So which is given to us, okay, that condition is given to us. So that means one root is definitely 1. Now how the other root is c upon a? If you are denoting first root by alpha and other root is beta, then you know that product of roots is given by c upon a. So I have alpha into beta equal to c upon a. Since alpha is 1, so 1 into beta is c upon a. This shows that other root beta will be equal to c upon a. Got it? So this will be the other root. So remember, whenever we have this condition that sum of coefficients is 0, then in that quadratic equation, if this is the quadratic equation, that is sum of coefficients is 0, one root will be equal to 1. Okay, so this will be the first root and the other root will be c upon a. Got it? Let's take the next result now. Next would be, I'll be taking two quadratic equations. So 8th result would be that if difference of roots of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is same as difference of roots of another quadratic equation which is given by capital A x square plus capital B into x plus capital C equal to 0. Then what is the result? Then I have this result that d1 upon d2 is equal to small a square upon capital A square. Where what is d1? It is discriminant of the first equation and d2 is the discriminant of second equation. So I'll write over here where d1 comma d2 are discriminants of the two equations respectively. Respectively means d1 is the discriminant of the first one, d2 is the discriminant of the second one, right? Now you remember the formula for discriminant, isn't it? B square minus 4ac. So what we can say, d1 would mean b square minus 4ac with small letters and d2 would be capital B square minus 4 times capital AC. This would be equal to small a square upon capital A square. So what's the result? We are saying that if you have difference of roots of this equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, it is same as difference of roots of this equation. Then I have this condition d1 upon d2 is small a square upon capital A square, okay, which can be written of course like this. Now how do we get it? It's very simple. Let me just explain it to you in case you are wondering. So I have this equation, suppose the first one, and suppose the roots are alpha beta. Let us take the roots as alpha beta. Let us take the second equation, capital Ax square plus capital Bx plus capital C equal to 0. Suppose the roots are gamma and delta. We are saying now that difference of roots of first equation is same as difference of roots of the second equation. That means alpha minus beta is same as gamma minus delta. Is it all right? So this is given to us. You remember we have done the formula for difference of roots. So discriminant d1 is the discriminant of the first equation. and d2 is the discriminant of the second equation. So I get plus minus under root of d1 upon a is equal to plus minus under root of d2 upon capital A. This was the formula, plus minus under root of d upon a. Now what we can do is we can do squaring. So I will have d1 upon a square is equal to d2 upon capital A square. So you can see this gives us d1 upon d2 is equal to small a square upon capital A square. Okay, so that is how we get this result. All right. So I hope you have understood this, that if difference of roots of the first equation is same as difference of roots of the other, then d1 upon d2 is small a square upon capital A square. Right. Let's move on to the next result now. Okay. Now this would be the last one. Then we'll do some questions. All right. Now ninth result. Ninth result will be that if ratio of, now in the eighth result we were talking about difference of roots of two quadratic equations. Now in the ninth result we will talk about ratio of roots of the two equations. So let me write, if ratio of roots of equation small a x square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is same as the ratio of the roots of equation. Now let me take capitals. So capital A x square plus capital bx plus capital C equal to 0. Then let us see what is the result which I have. I have this result that small b square upon AC is equal to capital B square upon AC. Okay, so what are we saying over here? Let's see. We are now talking about the ratio. If the ratio of the roots of this equation is same as ratio of roots of this equation in which we have capitals, then I have this result which I will be able to use directly, that small b square upon AC will be equal to capital B square upon AC. Now how we are getting this? Let us see quickly before we move on to the questions based on these results. Now again, suppose first equation is this, okay, and the roots are alpha and beta. Got it? And I have second equation as capital A x square plus capital Bx plus C equal to 0, and I have roots as gamma delta. Now ratio is same, that means alpha upon beta is going to be equal to gamma upon delta. Now what we can do? We can apply componendo and dividendo rule. Is it all right? Componendo, dividendo rule. Now what is that rule? That if alpha upon beta is gamma upon delta, then I have alpha minus beta upon alpha plus beta will be equal to gamma minus delta upon gamma plus delta. Either you take minus sign in numerator on left side, right side both, and in the denominator we take plus sign, or you can do the reciprocal also. That means we can take plus sign in the numerator and minus in the denominator. Okay. Now look here, alpha minus beta means difference of roots. So what was the difference of roots? Plus minus under root of d1 upon a. Again, d1 is the discriminant of the first equation and d2 is the discriminant of the second equation. And what was sum of roots? Minus b upon a. Got it? So right side similarly, plus minus under root of d2 upon capital A and divided by gamma plus delta means sum of roots, which is equal to minus b upon capital A. Now observe one thing, that a is getting cancelled and this capital A is also getting cancelled. Let us do now squaring. If we do squaring both sides, what do we get? We get d1 upon b square is equal to d2 upon capital B square. Got it? Now what is the value of discriminant? B square minus 4ac. So that means b square minus 4ac upon b square will be equal to capital B square minus 4ac upon capital B square. Now let us separate the terms. If you separate the terms, b square upon b square on the left hand side is going to be 1. So I have 1 minus 4ac upon b square is equal to 1 minus 4 times capital AC upon B square. Now look here, we have 1 will get cancelled, isn't it? Minus 4 also you can cancel. right? 1 is cancelled with 1. You can cancel out -4 also. So we will be getting here AC upon B square is equal to capital AC upon capital B square. Either you can memorize the condition in this form or you can take reciprocal. So if we take reciprocal, what are we getting? Let's see. We are getting B square upon small AC is equal to capital B square upon capital AC. Okay. So this was the condition, isn't it? So let us see it again. So what is this ninth result? That if ratio of roots of, look here, if ratio of roots of this equation, okay, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is same as ratio of roots of this equation, then small b square upon ac is capital B square upon AC. You can see it is, it will take time if you start deriving these results in competition exams. All right. So we need to memorize them directly. And now let us see their application. All right. Now I'll show you how we can use them directly. Okay. Now let us look at the first question. Now you can see the first question on your screen. What does it say? One real root of quadratic equation 81x square plus kx plus 256 equal to 0 is cube of the other. Then a value of k is. So we have to find the value of k. Okay. So let's see the solution for this one. Okay. So now we are going to write the solution for this one. All right. Now see, let me write the equation first. Equation लिखते हैं पहले. It is 81x square plus kx and plus 256 equal to 0. Now what are they saying? That one root is cube of the other. What does it mean? It means that if one root is alpha, other will be alpha cube. Now which direct result it should remind us of? That one root is nth power of the other. Remember what was the result? Let me write the result over here. We had done if one root is alpha, other is alpha raised by n. What was the result? It was an into c whole power 1 upon n plus 1 plus a into c raised by n whole power 1 upon n plus 1 plus b equal to 0. Now look very carefully. What are the values? Now first of all let us see what is a. Now this was in the quadratic equation. Let us compare the above equation with this one. This condition was there in this equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So let's see. A is how much? 81 as you can see. B, coefficient of x, what is it? K. And C we have 256. So let me write. Okay, so A I have as 81 which is 3 raised by 4. I can write like this. Then I have B equal to K, right? And then C is 256. What is 256? 2 raised by 8. And since one root is cube of the other in the equation, so I have n equal to 3. Right? Now all these things I am going to put in this condition. Alright, we will use this condition now directly and you will see it will give us the value of k directly. Put karte hain chalo. Okay, so it's so interesting to just put the values. So I have a raised by n, that means 3 raised by 4, n is 3, right? Into c which is 2 raised by 8. Then whole power 1 upon n plus 1, n is 3, so that means 1 upon 4. Let us take the next term, a. A is 3 raised by 4 into c raised by n. C is 2 raised by 8, whole power n means 3, alright. And then whole power 1 upon n plus 1. Since n is 3, it is again 1 by 4. And I have plus b equal to 0. B, sorry, let's put the value of b here. Okay, so what is b? B is equal to k. So I can directly write here b as k, whose value I have to obtain. Okay, so b also we replace by k. Now let us simplify. You can see this is now power के ऊपर power क्या होती है? Multiply. तो I have 3 raised by 12, 2 raised by 8 whole power 1 by 4. What is the next term? 3 raised by 4 into 2 raised by 24 whole power 1 by 4 and plus k is equal to 0. Again power के ऊपर power multiply. Let us separate the terms. 3 raised by 12 है ना, 12 by 4 is 3. So I have 3 raised by 3. 2 की पावर 8 है, 8 by 4 will be 2, so 2 raised per 2 plus 4 into 1 by 4, so 3 raised per 1. 24 by 4 will be 6, 2 raised per 6 plus k is equal to 0. 3 raised per 3, 27, 27 into 4 would be how much? 108, okay? Plus 2 raised per 6 would be 64, 64 into 3. What would that be if you multiply 64 by 3? 192. Is it okay? We multiply 64 by 3. So plus k will be equal to 0. Now what is 108 plus 192? 300. So I have 300 plus k equal to 0. So it gives me the value of k as minus 300. Got it? So value of k is coming out to be minus 300. If we are not using the direct result, तब हमें क्या करना पड़ता? देखो, एक रूट अल्फा है, दूसरा अल्फा क्यूब है. You would be taking sum of roots अल्फा प्लस अल्फा क्यूब. You will take product of roots अल्फा इंटू अल्फा क्यूब. फिर आप उसमें से अल्फा एलिमिनेट करोगे, फिर आपके पास k में इक्वेशन आएगी. Then you will solve and find k. So when we use the direct result, आपने सिर्फ वैल्यूज पुट करनी है और आपको k की वैल्यू मिल गई. Let us see the option. Which option is correct? You can see D option will be correct. Right? So value of k is minus 300. So we have used that result. Okay. Let's move on to the next question now. So please look at this question on your screen. If lambda be the ratio of roots of this quadratic equation, what is it? 3m square x square plus m into m minus 4 into x plus 2 equal to 0. Then we have to find least value of m for which lambda plus 1 by lambda is equal to 1. Okay, let's write the equation first. So we are going to do the solution for this. So let me write the equation now. Equation is 3m square x square plus m into m minus 4, right, into x plus 2 equal to 0. Now what is given? Lambda is the ratio of roots. So lambda is the ratio of roots means what? That if one root is lambda alpha, other would be alpha. So if you take the ratio lambda alpha by alpha, we will get lambda. Now remember, we have done result on ratio of roots of quadratic equation. If the ratio is given, what was the result? Let us recall over here. Result was that if you have this quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, and roots were in the ratio p is to q, then the result was p plus q whole square, okay, p plus q whole square divided by pq was equal to b square upon ac, right? Now in this case, what is the ratio? We have ratio as lambda. Lambda means lambda is to 1. Okay, so p will be replaced by lambda, q will be replaced by 1. What about ABC? Let us see. In place of a, you have 3m square, coefficient of x square. In place of b, we have this whole thing, m into m minus 4, right? A is 3m square, b is this, m into m minus 4. And what about c? It is 2. So let me write the condition first. So now the condition becomes lambda plus 1 whole square divided by lambda is equal to b square means m square into m minus 4 whole square, and divided by AC. A is 3 and C is 2. Let us simplify now. On the left hand side, let me open the brackets. I have lambda square plus 1 plus 2 lambda and divided by lambda. This is equal to m square into m minus 4 whole square divided by, I have, what do I have? Okay, just a moment. In the a is 3m square. Okay, so I'll have m square also here, because a was 3m square into c will be this. So now I have denominator as 6m square. Now, what are we going to do? First of all, observe m square will get cancelled. Alright, now on the left hand side, let us separate the terms. Alright, so what do I get? Lambda square upon lambda will be lambda plus 1 upon lambda, and plus 2 will be equal to m minus 4 whole square divided by 6. Now what's the question? Let us have a look. Question was, we have to find least value of m. for which lambda plus 1 by lambda is 1. So that means we are given that lambda plus its reciprocal is 1. Let's use it. So as you can see over here, we have this lambda plus 1 by lambda. Its value is given to be 1. So let us put, I have 1 plus 2 is equal to m minus 4 whole square and divided by 6. So what do I get? I get m minus 4 whole square will be equal to 6 3s are 18. Either you can open the brackets, okay, and then a quadratic equation will be formed. You can find the two roots and we can find the least value of m, that means the smaller one. Or what we can do is we can take square root here also. Okay, if you take square root at this place, we will get m minus 4 is equal to plus minus root 18. This can be done. So it will save time. It will give us m directly. So what is m equal to? 4 plus minus 18 would be 3 root 2. Okay, so these are the two values of m. So we have to find the least m. So least m will be equal to the smaller value, that is 4 minus 3 root 2. Okay, so this is going to be the answer, right? So our least value of m is 4 minus 3 root 2. Got it? So which is the option? Let us check. So 4 minus 3 root 2 is C option. So C option is going to be correct. So which direct have we used? This one. As you can see, we are using this direct result, that if roots are in the ratio p is to q, then p plus q whole square upon pq is b square upon ac. So again, it saved us a lot of time. We directly wrote the condition in terms of lambda and m, and since we were given lambda plus 1 by lambda is 1, on putting it we get condition only on terms of m. So we solved it also in a way that it saves time. Instead of opening the brackets here, m minus 4 whole square, we have taken just the square root. It directly gives you least m as 4 minus 3 root 2. Okay? Now let's move on to the next question. Look at the third question now. I have the value of a, I have to find out, for which one root of the quadratic equation, which is the quadratic equation, a square minus 5a plus 3 into x square plus 3a minus 1x plus 2 equal to 0 is twice as large as the other. So one root is twice as large as the other. So we have to find the value of a. Let's start the solution. So this question was there in AIEEE 2003. Okay, previous questions were also from previous JEE main questions, as you can see. See, the second question, as you can see, was from JEE mains 2019. Can you see? And similarly the first one, that was from also JEE mains 2019. So third one is from AIEEE 2003. Now let us write the equation. I have a square minus 5a plus 3 into x square plus 3a minus 1 into x and plus 2 equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. Now what are they saying? That one root is twice as large as the other. What does it mean? It means if one root is alpha, other will be 2 times alpha. Now which direct condition are we going to use? Now we are going to use this condition if one root is n times the other. Remember, what was the condition? N plus 1 whole square upon n was equal to b square upon ac. So this direct condition will be using. Now since one root is twice as large as the other, so I have n as 2. Again this condition was there in this quadratic equation, standard one. Okay, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So what do we have in place of a? In place of a we have this, the whole expression, quadratic expression, a square minus 5a plus 3. That is the coefficient of x square. B coefficient of x is 3a minus 1. And the constant term c is 2. Right? So let's put the values. Now I have 2 plus 1 whole square, because n is 2 upon 2 is equal to b square. That is 3a minus 1 whole square divided by a into c. A, as I said, is complete coefficient of x square. A square minus 5a plus 3 and c is 2. So you can see we have directly got an equation in terms of a. Now we simply have to solve it and find a. Let's solve it now. As you can see, 2 is getting cancelled. We can cross multiply. On left hand side we have 2 plus 1 square, that is 9. So 9 into a square minus 5a plus 3 is equal to 3a minus 1 square. Let's solve it. So I have 9a square minus 45a plus 27 is equal to, let's open the brackets on the right side. So I have 9a square plus 1 minus 6a. What is getting cancelled? Let's see. 9a square is cancelled. So we can take 45a on the other side and bring 1 on this side. So what do we get? 26 is equal to 39a. So a would be equal to 26 by 39. Now we can cancel the common factor. 13 2s are 26 and 13 3s are 39. So this shows that value of a is equal to 2 by 3. Okay, so this is the final answer. So they were asking us the value of a if one root of the equation is twice as large as the other. Let's see the answer now. Let's check. So you can see a option will be correct. Got it? So that is how we can use the direct results. Let us take one more. Look at question number 4 on your screen. What do we have? Question is, as you can see, the roots of the equation, this equation b minus c x square plus c minus ax plus a minus b equal to 0 are. So basically we have to find the roots of this equation. Okay, let's see which direct result can we use over here. Now equation is b minus c x square plus c minus a into x plus a minus b equal to 0. Now this question seems to be simple, that we just have to find the roots. The only thing is that we have unknown quantities in this. Even if you split the middle term, like you know this term, if you try to split it, you won't be able to factorize it. Alright, so factorization is not possible in this one. What is the other method? Quadratic formula. Since we have this as coefficient of x square, this as c and b is c minus a. So finding d, then applying quadratic formula will again be a very tedious task. We observe one thing. What is the result that we have done? We have done that if I have this equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, in which I get a plus b plus c as 0, that is sum of coefficients is 0, then one root is 1 and the other is c upon a. So it gives me directly the roots, alright, without solving it. Now we should be smart enough to observe that in this case, coefficient of x square is b minus c, coefficient of x is c minus a, coefficient or constant term is a minus b. So we can see that if we add these, then sum of coefficients is coming out to be 0. So in this quadratic equation, sum of coefficients will be equal to what? B minus c plus c minus a plus a minus b. You can see b will get cancelled, c will get cancelled, a will get cancelled. So sum of coefficients is 0. That means this result is applicable. So what is the first root? 1. We may denote it by alpha. So one root will be 1. What about beta? If this was the quadratic equation, then the other root was c upon a. What do we mean when we say c upon a? Constant term divided by coefficient of x square. So in this case, constant term is a minus b, coefficient of x square is b minus c. Okay, so the other root will be a minus b upon b minus c. So you can see, so easily and in such a short span of time we have obtained the two roots, alright, by just observing that sum of coefficients of this root is 0. Let us check the options. So one root is 1, other is a minus b upon b minus c. A option you can see is obviously wrong. B is correct because one root is 1, other is a minus b upon b minus c. Okay, so this will be the correct option. Got it? Alright. Now this is how we use the direct results which we have done in solving questions, and you have seen, observed that it will save us a lot of time. Now in today's lecture, we'll be moving on to the next thing. Okay, that would be transformation of roots. What do we mean when we say transformation of roots? Okay, let us see that. Now let me give the heading. The next thing that we are going to do will be transformation of roots. Transformation of roots. Now as you can see in the word transformation, that means we are going to change the roots. Now suppose I have the standard quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, and suppose its two roots are alpha and beta. Now transformation of roots means I'll be changing the roots alpha and beta. If you change the roots, obviously the equation is also going to change. Okay, so we will see if we make changes in the roots, what will be the changes in the equation. Alright, so let me take the first one. Case 1 would be that if new roots are, say, minus alpha and minus beta. These are the new roots now. So I want to see what will be the quadratic equation. Is it alright? Now there are two ways of doing it. One is by using sum and product of roots. Alright, I'll tell you the other method, which is substitution method. Okay, you can also do it by sum and product of roots. Now remember, substitution method, which I'm going to tell you, can be used only if you have same transformation in both the roots. Same transformation means that if alpha is becoming negative, beta is also becoming negative. That means whatever change you are making in first root, same change will be making in the other root also. Alright, now how do we do it? Now what is the meaning of roots? Roots means values of x. So when I say roots are alpha and beta, it means these are the values of x. Now what does it mean? It means that now the new roots are minus alpha and minus beta. It means that roots are getting transformed. So x is changing. I will take substitution now. Let y be equal to minus x. Why minus x? Because x was alpha beta. Now I have new roots minus alpha minus beta. So I will take this substitution. And let me call this equation as 1. So let me put y equal to minus x in 1. So put y equal to minus x in 1. So what do I get? Before that also, or you may see this, instead of this, you may first write as, because we can replace x. So if y is minus x, we can see that x will be equal to minus y. We can say like this also. So let us put this value of x as minus y in 1. What I am getting? A into minus y whole square plus b into minus y and plus c equal to 0. So if you open the brackets, I get ay square minus by plus c equal to 0. Now observe one thing. If the variable is x or y, roots never change. Like for example, look here, what I am trying to say is that if I have equation as, suppose x square minus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. You will get roots as 1 and 2. Okay, suppose I write the same equation as y square minus 3y plus 2 equal to 0. Only the variable is changing, equation is the same. So again the roots are going to be 1:2. So whether you write the equation in terms of x or y, the roots are going to remain same. So here I can replace this variable y by x. So that means my equation becomes ax square minus bx plus c equal to 0. So this is the transformed equation and its roots are minus alpha and minus beta. So if equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 had roots alpha beta, then equation with roots minus alpha minus beta is this one, ax square minus bx plus c equal to 0. You can also memorize this way, that what we have done, we had replaced x by minus x. You can simply say this, क्योंकि अल्फा बीटा से हम कहाँ पे गए, माइनस अल्फा माइनस बीटा, तो इक्वेशन में भी आप x को रिप्लेस कर दो किससे, माइनस x से. ऑलराइट, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. सेकेंड केस लेते हैं, केस 2. When the new roots are 1 by alpha, 1 by beta. So these are the new roots now. Is it alright? So just as in case 1, x was taking values alpha beta in the original equation. Now that means x is our alpha beta in original equation. So this is 1 by x. So what substitution are we going to take? Again, you can see same transformation is happening in both the roots. If we are taking reciprocal of the first one, we are taking reciprocal of the second one also. All right. So I will take substitution y is equal to 1 by x, because if x is alpha beta, this is going to be 1 by x. Now what do I get? This means that x will be equal to 1 upon y. So this we are going to put in again 1, which was the original equation, right? What was 1? 1 was ax square plus bx and plus c equal to 0. This was 1. Now let me put, what do I get? A into 1 upon y whole square plus b into 1 upon y and plus c equal to 0. Let's simplify. I get a upon y square plus b upon y plus c equal to 0. Let's take LCM and then cross multiply. So I will get a plus by plus cy square equal to 0. So this is the new equation. Again, remember we said whether we write the equation in terms of y or x is one and the same thing. So this can be written as cx square plus bx plus a equal to 0. So this is the equation, new equation beta, whose roots are going to be the reciprocal of roots of the original equation. Okay, so if this equation had roots alpha and beta, then this is the equation which will have roots 1 by alpha and 1 by beta. So in a way, what are we doing? We can say that we are replacing x by 1 by x. So if the roots are reciprocal, simply in the given quadratic equation, you replace x by 1 by x. Okay. Let me take case 3 now. Case 3 we may take that new roots are k alpha, k beta. Alright. These are the new roots where k is any obviously non-zero constant. Okay. K is any non-zero constant. Now let us see again. Original equation had roots alpha beta. Now roots alpha beta means x was taking values alpha beta. So now here in place of alpha and beta we can write x. So what will be the substitution? Substitution will be y is equal to k times x. Right? So x was taking values alpha beta. So alpha beta can be replaced by x. Now what is x? X is equal to k y upon k. यही होगा ना. अब क्या करना है? वही ओरिजिनल इक्वेशन में पुट करेंगे. सो पुट इन 1 the original equation which was ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So let us replace. This x will be replaced by y upon k. So what are we getting? We get a into y upon k whole square plus b into y upon k and plus c is equal to 0. Alright. Now let us solve further. Now this will give you, I have a into y square upon k square plus I have by, okay, what do I have? By upon k and plus c is equal to 0. Let me take LCM over here, k square and cross multiply. So I get ay square plus bky and plus ck square is equal to 0. Alright. So this will be the new equation. Alright. Now observe. This equation again we can replace y by x. So what is the new equation now? I have ax square plus bkx and plus ck square is equal to 0. So this is the equation which will have roots k alpha and k beta. Alright. So that means what have we seen? That if this equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 was having roots alpha beta, now this equation, new equation will have roots k alpha and k beta. Got it? So what have we done? Basically we have replaced x by एक तरह से x upon k. So what have we done? We are replacing x by x upon k. Can you see it from here? So that is the substitution. Is it okay? So this is what we have. Now let me take one more case and then we'll do question based on that. Case 4 that we can take would be that if I have new roots as p alpha plus q and p beta plus q. You can see it is sort of, combination of the previous cases. We have done what happens when we multiply roots by a constant. So you can see we are multiplying by p and we are also adding something to it, okay, in this case. So whatever change is happening in the first root, same change is happening in the second root, all right. So we are multiplying by p and then adding another constant q. So we need to find the equation if these are the new roots, okay. Again the same method, that if I had in the original roots x as alpha beta, then now here in place of alpha and beta we are going to write x. So what is the substitution? Y will be equal to px plus q. So you can observe that we replace alpha and beta by x, all right. So what is x here now? X will be equal to y minus q upon p. So this is the value of x that we have. Now let us put it in the original equation. What was the original equation? It was ax square plus bx and plus c equal to 0. And the roots were alpha and beta. Now let us put in 1. Okay, this was 1. So we put this substitution in 1. What do I get? See, I will get a into y minus q upon p whole square, right, plus b into y minus q upon p and plus c equal to 0. This can be solved, okay. You can simplify it, squaring it, cross multiplying, and you know that equation remains unchanged when we replace y by x. So that means this equation can also be written as a into x minus q upon p whole square plus b into y minus q upon p. Sorry, in place of y we have x now. So we are replacing this by x, okay. So I have x minus q upon p and plus c equal to 0. So this is the new equation whose roots are going to be p alpha plus q and p beta plus q. So basically this is the general method to transform the given equation without using the concept of sum and product of roots. You see, if the same transformation is not happening in both the roots, suppose original equation has roots alpha beta and we have to form an equation whose roots are 2 alpha and the other is beta by 2. Now if this is the case, that see what I am saying, that if new equation has roots 2 alpha and beta by 2, then we cannot use this substitution method. This can be used only if the same transformation is happening in both the roots. How do we do questions of this type? This you have seen earlier. We simply use the concept of sum and product of roots, and new equation is formed then by using x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product equal to 0. Okay, so those questions we have already seen, right? Now let us take up a question based on this. Now let me take this question. You can see this question on your screen. What does it say? If alpha beta are the roots of equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then this equation ax square plus 2bx plus 4c equal to 0, we have to find the roots. Okay, let's see how we can find it. So we should be able to use the results that we have done. Now the given equation is, first of all, original is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. What are the roots now? Roots are alpha and beta. Now in this case, new equation is already given to you. What is it? Ax square plus 2bx and plus 4c equal to 0. We need to find the roots. One method would be that we take sum and product of roots, so we want to avoid that. Okay, let's see what we can do. Suppose in this equation, as you can see in the first one, constant is c, here it is 4c. I want to compare these two, so let me make constant in the second equation as c, so that I observe that what are the changes made in x. So for that, I divide here by 4. Let me divide this equation by 4. What are we getting? Ax square upon 4 plus 2bx upon 4 and plus c is equal to 0. Observe carefully how we can write this. I can write it as a into x upon 2 whole square, correct, plus b into x upon 2, because you can see here 2 will get cancelled, isn't it? So this can be written as b into x upon 2 and plus c equal to 0. Now look here carefully. This was the original equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, and new equation is this. Alright. Now what is happening here? X is getting replaced by x by 2. Can you observe this thing? In this case, x is getting replaced by x by 2. Remember the direct result that we have done? Let me show you. Look here. This result I am talking about. That if the roots were k alpha, k beta, can you see? If the roots are k alpha, k beta, x gets replaced by x by k. So if x is getting replaced by x upon k, then new roots get multiplied by k. Okay? If x is getting divided by k, roots are getting multiplied by k. So same thing now will happen if x is getting divided by 2. So that means this equation will have roots 2 alpha and 2 beta. The roots get multiplied by 2. Okay, so this would be the answer. So it's a very shortcut method to obtain the roots without using the concept of sum and product of roots. Let's check the answer. You can see that B option will be correct. So new equation will have roots 2 alpha and 2 beta. Got it? Now one last question for today's lecture that you can see on your screen. What is it? If alpha beta are roots of this equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then we have to form a quadratic equation. Now in previous question, new quadratic equation was given, you had to find the new roots. Now new roots are given, 2 alpha plus 3, 2 beta plus 3, we have to form the new equation. Okay, so let's solve it. So let's see the solution now. As you can see, the given equation is ax square plus bx and plus c equal to 0, and it has roots alpha beta. Now new roots are given to us. What are the new roots? Look carefully. 2 alpha plus 3, 2 beta plus 3. So you can see that same transformation is happening in both the roots. What was the method? That if the roots are alpha beta, that means these are the values taken by x. These are the values taken by x. So here alpha and beta means values of x. So I take substitution, let y be equal to 2x plus 3. So let us find x. So x in this case would be equal to y minus 3 upon 2. Okay, so this is the value of x which we are going to put in the original equation. That will give us the new equation. So let me put a into, I have y minus 3 upon 2 whole square, right? Plus, what do I have? B into y minus 3 upon 2 and plus c is equal to 0. And you know that whether we write equation in terms of y or x is the same thing. So let us write it in terms of x. So I have a into x minus 3 by 2 whole square plus b into x minus 3 by 2 and plus c will be equal to 0. Now we just have to simplify. So I have a into, let us open the brackets in the numerator, x square minus 6x plus 9 and divided by 4. Then I have plus b into x minus 3 upon 2 and plus c equal to 0. Next logical step would be to take LCM. So if I take LCM, what do I get? Ax square minus 6ax plus 9a plus 2bx minus 6b and plus 4c equal to 0. Now you can cross multiply. Let us combine the powers of x's. We have only one term containing x square, which is this one. So first term would be ax square. Then we combine terms involving x. These are the two terms involving x. What is common? You can see 2 is common. So I have 2 times b minus 3a into x. Remaining terms are the constants. So I have 9a minus 6b and plus 4c equal to 0. Alright, so this is the new equation. So this is the transformed equation which we are getting. So this is the equation whose roots are 2 alpha plus 3 and 2 beta plus 3, right? Now let us check the answer. So this is the new equation. So I have ax square plus 2 times b minus 3ax plus 9a minus 6b plus 4c0. Now obviously A option is wrong, as you can see here. Okay, A option is not satisfying it, even B is not satisfying it. In C option, you observe this part is correct, okay, even this is correct, but this part is wrong. So all the options are correct, are incorrect. That means D option will be correct. So none of the options are satisfying it, so we have option as D. Okay, so we have done. What did we do today? First of all, I told you some direct results on real roots of quadratic equation, and then after that we did transformation of roots and then some questions based on that. Okay, I hope you understood what we did today. So that is all for today's lecture. I hope you will enjoy the benefit of our courses better. All right, thank you and bye-bye. Next we'll do in the next lecture. Thank you.